girls, it's Jamie, and I cannot believe today is finally the day that I get to show you a craft I've been planning for weeks. I am so wired about this DIY, and this DIY is wired too. No, literally, it's a wired DIY. So get ready, because this week I'm going to show you how to make a wired word bracelet. Let's do it, girl. For this craft, you're going to need some gauge wire. I'm using 22 gauge wire because I still have a lot left over from my wired cufflink bracelet from last year. Most crafting wire is 24 gauge, so you can definitely use that instead. A bright color like gold will work best, so that way your word really stands out. Since my gauge wire is kind of a dull color, I'm going to be making it extra bright silver using this spray paint that I have left over from my fingerprint keychain craft from a while back. Now, you don't have to paint your gauge wire, but just know that that's an option in case you want to make your word a fun color. Speaking of what you will need, make sure to also grab a pair of needle nose pliers to bend your wire. Finally, you're going to need some sort of bracelet. I'm using this bright blue twine that I have left over from my bird feeder craft. But honestly, you can use pretty much any material here. Like neon gimp, suede, string, beads, yarn, embroidery floss, or chain. Just to name a few. Honestly, you can just use the wire itself in order to create more of a cufflink look and then save yourself an entire step. If you're using chain, make sure to buy the proper clasps and chain attachments. If you're using string like me, go ahead and grab a pair of scissors in order to cut it, and possibly some cord ends if you want a neat way of binding your string together. The first step is to choose a short, fun word, whether it's your name, a hobby, or an inspirational word. I'm going to be going with the Gurl logo because it's kind of a hobby of mine, and it has a cute heart in place of the U. You'll be spelling out your word in cursive, so if you need to, go ahead and print out the word from the computer or write it down ahead of time so you can see where exactly the bends of each letter will go. Step 2. The next step is to go ahead and shape your wire design. Start with a foot or so of wire and then loop one end into itself, creating a circle where you can connect your bracelet later. Then go ahead and create your word, following your original outline as best as you can. Now, don't beat yourself up if your letters aren't perfect. I am nowhere near a professional at this, but I found that the more you practice, the better you'll be at bending the wire with your pliers as well as your fingers. When you're done spelling out your word, repeat the ending circle loop to complete the bracelet anchor. Finally, cut the remaining wire and tuck it in safely. Now here's where I'm quickly going to spray paint my word bright silver so that it can be bolder and brighter. I'll be right back. We did it, girl. I'm Jamie, and you're still waiting for me to attach this to a bracelet, aren't you? Right, we still have one more step. Step 3. The last step is to transform your wired word into a wired bracelet. Like I said earlier, you can simply leave 2 extra inches of wire on either side ahead of time and use it as its own clasp for a cuff bracelet. Or you can connect it with chain using clasps. Let me show you my final bracelet design with my braided twine. That's a rhyme. Yeah. Pull a 2-foot piece of twine through the wire circle in a loop over itself. Take another 2-foot piece of twine and tie a knot around your first piece. Using the left side of this new piece of twine, create the letter C. Using the right side of your new piece of twine, place the string over the end of the C, under the 2 strands of your original piece, and then back over the C on the left side. Pull tight into a knot. Then reverse the direction, creating a D. You'll do the same movement, placing the left side of your string over the end of the D, under the 2 strands of your original piece, and then back over the D on the right side. Again, pull tight into a knot. Repeat this process, C, D, C, D, until you get a whole wrist's worth. You can finish off the pattern with cord ends or simply tie it behind your wrist and call it a day. And there we go, one word, one bracelet, but 1,000 possibilities. This makes a perfect gift, and it's such a fun craft to do in groups. Now I get to take Gurl with me wherever I go. How did you personalize your wired word bracelet? Tweet me at Jamie Petito, Instagram me at HeyJamie, or just tell me all about it in the comments below. We did it, girl. I'm Jamie, and you're on Gurl.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here's the part of Do It Girl where I try to answer all of your questions preemptively. Do you have to use a word? Nope, you could use a simple shape such as a circle or a square, which is way faster to do and easier. Do you have to use needle nose pliers? Not necessarily. You could use bent nose, flat bottomed, or rounded pliers, or no pliers at all. It'll be a little tougher on your fingers, but you can do it. How expensive is this craft and how long does it take? Well, I already had all the supplies, so it cost me nothing, but gauge wire costs about $5, so it'll cost you around there. And it took me less than an hour to complete. Have fun! Since my color is kinda dull, I'm going to be going with this bright silver spray paint in order to make it bright. Because it's bright. Pretty.